If you are steep in the downswing and no matter what you do, you cannot fix it, that is because you are not working on the root cause reason to why you are steep, as there are reasons to why this happens. And as soon as you fix that, you are going to fix that steep shaft and get shallow just like you want. So there are 5 main reasons here. And for each of these 5 reasons, we're going to give you a fix to be able to rectify the problem. So let's get straight into the first one. So the first one here, and that is how you are moving in your takeaway and then how that's affecting the rest of your swing. So this is what I call the under and over swing. So this is where players are getting into their takeaway and they are rolling that club right on the inside there to where that club head is whipping on in. And then the shaft structure from there is extremely laid off and horizontal. But then we see players self-organize up to top, because you're not going to be able to hit a golf shot from here. So you'll see them stand the club up, and that route the club is taking is going towards the golf ball. It's not now going to magically just shallow out. It's done half of its work in the backswing to stand itself back up. So it's going to continue to go in that direction in the downswing, giving this under and over look. This is incredibly of a common move that we see golfers do. So that will always lead you to be steep. And what I want to see players have more of this. They'll be coming back in their backswing, the hands will be going in, the club head slightly outside the hands, and then now that's promoting more of a steeper shaft travel in the backswing as they turn up to the top. And because they've had this more steeper movement as their hands are going up and around, now the club wants to fall, it wants to shallow out, gravity will hit it, and the route it's going to take is going to be more underneath and then through. So the little drill to be able to do this is a really nice and simple one. Just grab an alignment stick. Now what we do, we grip that alignment stick just up the left-hand side of the shaft. Now if we had that kind of under and over move, when we're setting up to the golf ball, the stick is half to the side, so touching our side here. And when we go under, the stick detaches, and then over, the stick then points towards the ground. So we want the stick to slide down our side. And then as we get up to around left arm parallel, the stick starts to point at the ball line, and then it points in front, and then we turn through. So ideally, this is one that you can do without a golf ball, just to get the shaft structure. So you're more going over and under, not under and over. Slide down onto the ball line, and then in front and turn through. Really replicate that feeling, that sliding feeling that you just got in the takeaway there. Get into the takeaway without it. Just like the stick sliding down, and now swing up and through, and your club's naturally going to have more of that rerouting move to then get you to swing a little bit shallower, not so steep. So the second reason here is golfers doing what I call the starting the lawnmower move. So this is another backswing move that is causing a steep shaft in transition in the downswing. So I see golfers pulling that right arm in. So this is absolutely connected a little bit to the last one, but you can have a good shaft structure with pulling that right arm in. So if we pull it in like we're starting a lawnmower, that right arm will get real behind our seam line, so the seam line of the shirt. Once that right arm has got real behind the seam line, the elbow's pointing behind us, that right shoulder there is in internal rotation, like I'm winning an arm wrestling match. It's incredibly difficult to do anything other than keep that right elbow behind, internal shoulder rotation, which is going to keep that shaft extremely steep. So to get that shaft shallow, we need to be more here, having that trail elbow getting a little bit more in front, and that's trail shoulder or right shoulder external rotation. Almost impossible to do if you start the lawnmower in the backswing, if you have that pulling movement back. This is where we want a little bit different of a movement. So imagine you're at the gym, you're wanting bigger biceps. So you're picking up a dumbbell and you're curling that dumbbell. Now, when you're curling that dumbbell, how this relates to a golf swing is we want to do half a repetition of a bicep curl. So a personal trainer coming past you will probably tell you off for doing half a repetition, but for the golf swing, this is good because as we're turning back, we want to imagine we are doing half a bicep curl. If we're doing half a bicep curl, what's happening? This right arm is folding up and that elbow is staying down. We're in a little bit more of an externally rotated shoulder position and we're staying in front of the seam line. So half a bicep curl, and that'll be absolutely brilliant. Then we can get up to the top, and then that elbow and that right arm, right shoulder is in a position to where we can now get it in front in the downswing. It's not hard to do from there. That's going to shallow the shaft. That's going to fix your steep shaft. So the drill I like to do for this is just grab your club head, flip it over to where it's on the right hand side of your right forearm. Grip it with your left hand. Turn up to the top. Now that's forcing the right arm to be in this little bit more of what we call externally rotated position. And then what we do, we pull it in front of us to stretch out the shoulder and to get into that nice spot. So if we've done a bunch of that and then we've really felt, okay, half bicep curl up. Now we've got those repetitions and almost stretching that shoulder out. Now it's going to be way easier to not start the lawnmower and then to move through the golf ball way better with a better shaft angle. So my brand new winter improvement plan is in full swing, and it's not only proving to be incredibly popular, but it's also providing unbelievable results. And what this online lesson plan is with myself, it is 4 lessons per month for under the price of 2 individual lessons, unlimited communication, so messaging back and forth with myself. Any questions you have, you can ask me whenever. And also I've now included, not only on my winter plan, but on all my plans on Skillist, free access to all my video courses. So if you sign up to any of my plans, winter one absolutely included, you can get all my courses. So whether it's the new early extension course, rotation, shallowing, or over the top, you can watch all of them for no extra cost with that subscription. And of course, if you just want to pick up one of those awesome guides, which are absolutely packed with amazing information, way deeper than I could ever go in here on YouTube, and with amazing drills that are tailored to you specifically, you can pick those up individually also over on Skillist. The link for all of this is down in the description here. And if you also want just to have individual lessons with myself, so I've got 3 different packages of individual lessons, you can absolutely choose from those too. So if you don't want to do a plan, that's absolutely fine. I'll be more than happy to work with you regardless. So let's make 2024 season your best season ever. Link in description for online lessons with myself. So the third reason here, cupped left wrist. So this is such a huge one. So if we are, let's say for example here, we're at the top of the backswing, we've got a nice flat left wrist, and then we start to cup it. That club shaft will immediately get steep. Or let's say we're a golfer, maybe with a strong grip, we need to have a cup left wrist from there. That's why a lot of strong grip players really struggle to shallow the golf club, because you need a cup left wrist with a strong grip, but then we're in that cupped extended position. If we just move down neutrally, the club shaft is going to be steep. That's why I always recommend plays. It's a little bit easier to play with a more neutral grip, maybe even slightly weaker for some, because what it does to the club shaft from there for your matchups help the shaft movement in the downswing. So steep, cupped, go hand in hand. So what we want to do here, we want to have a flatter left wrist. So again, don't try and do this if you've got a strong grip. It will make you hit the ball way left. If you have this problem with a strong grip, consider changing your grip first. So standard grip, let's say we've got nice standard neutral grip. I want to see players with that left wrist staying flat. If they're staying flat, that club is going to stay way shallower. This is where even if you're standard to maybe even slightly weaker, let's say like a John Rahm, for example, then you have the ability to be able to add some flexion in the left wrist. Like for me, I have a slightly weaker grip. You'll see from slow-mos, I have quite a bowed left wrist. That helps with not only squaring my club face, but it also helps with shallowing. Bowing helps you shallow the golf club. But again, even if your grip is dead standard, 2.5 knuckles on your left hand, that will make you close the face too much. So again, you have to be either 2 knuckles, maybe even slightly less, to really bow the left wrist and make that work. So standard flat wrist is what we're kind of recommending here. So an easy little drill to do for this is just to grab a tee. And what we do with the tee, we have in our glove there, we just place the tee just in the front side of the glove. Now with that, all we're doing is preventing this tee from jabbing into the forearm. If I move my watch more, there we go. We just want it to stop it from jabbing into the forearm. We'll feel it immediately if we start to cup. So keep that left wrist nice with that tee, nice and flat on it. Don't let it jab you. And then that's going to keep you, one, from being steep and make you a little bit shallower. So let's do it. So the fourth reason most golfers are getting steep, they are overly rotating their chest in transition. So they'll be starting their downswing and they'll be rotating their chest along with the rest of their body to start off. So they essentially don't have any good downswing sequencing. When you do that, the club gets steep and it also flies out in front of you. So typically over the top. So I just keep you out to in and move you through the golf ball horribly. You could early extend to be able to reorganize the shaft. So again, early extension and steep shaft go hand in hand here. And I've also got a course not only on early extension, but I've got also a course on shallowing the golf club, which gives even more points here than in this video for things that steepen the shaft and how to fix it, and then how to do it with a good practice plan to be able to fix the problem. So there's a link in the description. That'll be the complete guide to shallowing the golf club. There's also rotation course. So exactly the same, but rotation. So everything about rotation in there, things that stop you from doing it, things to help you. The same for over the top, and the same for early extension. So brilliant viewing for you guys on there. So absolutely, we of course don't want to rotate this chest early. That's terrible sequencing. We want to make sure this chest is staying quiet in transition. We're wanting to have the middle of our chest pointing a little bit more behind us for a little bit longer, because we want lower body and mid torso to go first, chest and arms to go last. See, when I do that and I get that good sequencing, even if me just doing it here, that lower body mid torso separating, chest being quiet, what's happening to the club? It's shallowing. It's doing the opposite of steepening. So easy little feel here. Get the chest, feel like it's pointing behind you for as long as you can, that downswing. That's going to allow you time for the hips and lower body to go, and then that's going to help the hand pass shallow and drop out a little bit. And then as you start to move through that golf ball, you will start unwinding and uncorking through the shot. So chest pointing at the camera for as long as I can, that downswing. That'll stop the overactive chest rotation, and that'll help me shallow out. So the last one here, and that is aggressively pulling the shaft down in transition. That will steepen you. More force going downwards with their hands will stand that shaft up. So many golfers try to do this because they're trying to do the dropping the hands in the slot. I feel like that's a little bit of a misinterpretation of shallowing the golf club, because the hand path does not drop dead straight down. It does go down, but it also goes out. I ideally like to see 50-50, 50 down, 50 out. So this is where if you just go 100% down, steepening the shaft is going to happen, but you're also going to have a tremendous amount of other problems. The height of the swing is going to bury itself in the ground. You'll most likely have to jump up to be able to save the shot, get the club out of the ground. So for us, we want, like we said, the hand path to go out, outwards and down. Out and down is what we want. If we can do that, nice loose grip pressure whilst we do it, the club shaft is not going to get steep, it's going to get shallow. And then that's going to enable us to turn. So the reason for shallowing the golf club is just so it enables you to turn. So that's a really important thing. It's not to be able to hit from in to out. It can do that, absolutely. You can also shallow it and the club be out in front of you. If you haven't got much depth and you turn and you do good things, the club will shallow, it'll just be out in front of you. Shallow does not mean hitting from the inside. That will be dictated on other things with your golf swing. So it just helps you rotate. So drill to do for this. Grab a stick, put the stick underneath your right arm, so where you've got half the stick coming out here. Now what we want to do, we want to make sure that our left arm stays touching the stick in that downswing. So really when we get to around shaft parallel into the ball, the left arm can detach from the stick. But if we just go dead straight down, that left arm detaches and we have not got the good move, we are going to steepen. So left arm stays touching the stick for as long as we can, and then going through the golf ball, detach and you turn through. I've done this a ton with my own game. It really does help quite a considerable amount. So guys, those are the 5 main reasons to why you can't stop steepening that shaft in transition. There are more reasons, absolutely, which are in my complete guide to shallowing the golf club course. Again, link in description, and for all my other courses, a link in description as well. But then if you need my help personally one-to-one, we can absolutely do that with online lessons on Skillist. Again, link in description. So absolutely, if you like the video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.